I am on a mission, and the mission is called Finish the Magician. I have 150 pages left in this. I want to read like 100 pages today and then the last 50 pages tomorrow morning before work. Let's see how this pans out. I am very determined on this, and I am pretty positive that I can do this. And I will start getting into it now without further ado, so we can actually finish this. It is about 6 p.m. right now, and I still have a few other things to do, so I can't only sit here and read, but I will do my best to get through these 100 pages. Good morning, you guys. It is not even 7 a.m. The sun is just coming up, and I am ready to tackle the last pages of this book. I read a little more than I planned to yesterday, just like 10 pages. So I have 40 pages left now, and I am so ready to be done with this book. It's not for me, I think. No, I know it's not for me. It's just not for me. I will get more into this after I'm done with this, and I have a little more time to make a detailed review. But just to give a small preview, if you like plot-based stories, this is not for you. There's not much happening at all. I'm not a fan, but I'm now almost all the way through, so I will pull through and I will finish this. I'm usually not someone who is afraid of DNFing, but as there's only 40 pages now, I will read those and be done with this book, and then we can unhaul it. That's nice, right? So yeah, I will start right now and get through with this before starting to work, hopefully, and then we can concentrate on our next book. So this is done. I have to say the last few pages really got me. They were good, but it was just the last 40 pages and not the whole book. So I can't really say this is a recommendation, but also just to say it once more, this is the second book. I have not read the first one. So maybe if I read the first one, this would have been more to my taste. I will write my thoughts down before I say anything. But yeah, we're done with this anyways. And now it's time to choose the second to last book for me to read this semester. And I won't do the wheel again, even though I'm sitting at my desk. I won't do the wheel again. Instead, I wrote 2 slips of paper, and I don't know. I just put them here randomly on my desk. And I will now pull one of those 2 slips of paper, and we will see if it's going to be The Blue Castle or All About Love. And I will probably not start them soon. I will probably get into Voice of the Ocean before and try to finish that. But afterwards, we're getting back to one of these. So let's see. Which one should I open? What do you think? This one is already opening itself, so let's see. It's All About Love. So a nonfiction for now after a lot of fiction in here. Might be a good idea. As you just saw, I went to Strasbourg yesterday, so I didn't really get to participate in the all-nighter, which is why we're gonna catch up now. It is already 2 p.m. on Sunday, so I'm not quite sure if I will be able to finish the stream that G did yesterday, because it's over 10 hours long, but we're gonna do our best. My goal is to get as far as possible in Voice of the Ocean. It's my ebook, but I won't be traveling anymore this month, so I can just comfortably finish the book on my couch. And I am 38% into that right now, chapter 17, so I have quite a bit to go. And then also I want to get into Hot Wax a bit more. I am, I think, 57% done, something like that. And I will just listen to that whenever I get tired of reading physically. And otherwise I will probably continue with Voice of the Ocean. And if I don't feel like reading that anymore, I might even get into All About Love. I haven't started that yet, but it is always an option to do that while replaying the stream. And yeah, I think we should just get started, right? The stream is already on my TV. I have my turmeric chai here, my e-reader, everything is prepared. I just have to get cozy and start, so I'd say we just get right into it. As you just saw, I managed to read a little bit in the car yesterday. We took a little trip to see some family, and I didn't read that much though. Not that much. I still have about 18% left of the book, I think, and I will try to finish that right now because we need to move on. There's a week left in the readathon, and I still have two books that I haven't even started to read. They're not very long, but still, sometimes short books take a long time. So I don't want to be stressed in the end by how much I still have to read. So we need to get on with it. We need to get on with it. And it's not a hard time with Voice of the Ocean because I know I said last time that it's a little too Disney for me, maybe, but I have to take that back. There are a lot of things about the story that I just enjoyed, you know? Sometimes that's all you need from the story. You just need to enjoy it, and I do. And yeah, I'm really curious how it's gonna end because it could go a lot of ways right now, which is nice. Mm, yeah, I'm enjoying that, but I do want to finish it. Hello, good morning. It is Saturday already. We have 4 days left to finish this. I am getting a little bit stressed, I have to admit, because I'm not as far into everything, into my books, as I thought I would be, but it's all fine. 4 days are fine. We're fine. I will start All About Love today, finally, after choosing this book as my next one last week. It's been a week and I haven't had the time to actually start this. So today is the day. But before, I wanted to give you a little like mini review on this because it took me a while to like gather my thoughts on this, even though I knew from the start that it's not my thing, you know? But it is hard to describe a second book in the series when you haven't read the first one and also when you don't want to spoil too much. So here's what I'm going to say about the plot. We have twins, Sophie and Josh Newman, and they were just living their ordinary, like, teenage lives until one day, I think they're contacted by a very, I don't want to say famous couple, but you and I, we have heard of them before. They're called Perenelle and Nicolas Flamel, and they are immortal. And I don't know how these four people got together because I haven't read the first book, but they somehow got together. And the Flamels tell the twins that they have magical powers and like super special auras. One of them is silver and one of them is gold. And somehow that means something in the world of the immortals. And so they take the twins under their wing and try to, I don't know, tutor them, I'm guessing. And now this is the second part where they're mostly in Paris and they have to deal with opposing forces who want the power of the twins for themselves, of course. So for me, this whole thing was like just one big chase. Like the Flamels and the opposing forces and the twins, and I don't know what, like, nothing really happened. I don't like that. There were a lot of characters, but also they were very flat, I want to say. I didn't vibe with any of them really, which is sometimes not too bad, but only if the plot works, right? So it didn't work for me. So here are two things that really bothered me about this. One thing is that the author really likes to describe something as having the color of an old bruise. Like you can use that phrase, but maybe not 4 or 5 times within one book. It's kind of odd that you have such a fixation on that particular description, maybe. And the second thing is that we have a lot of mythical creatures in here. Lots of mythical creatures. And I mean, lots. And from all kinds of different cultures. Now, it's not like these creatures have any kind of value to the story. Like, most of them don't. Some of them do. but most don't. And my question is now, why would you draw on cultural aspects from all over the world if you don't appreciate them correctly, you know? That bothered me. Saying that, I know this book has existed for quite a while. Let me see. It was written, oh, it doesn't even say. Oh, it does. Okay. Okay, first edition 2011. Text copyright by 2008. So things were different back then. But for now, it bothered me, you know? It bothered me. Didn't quite enjoy this. This will be on hold. And I will not continue with the series. So much for that. So, um, now to this. And I will also give you a review on Voice of the Ocean and Hot Wax Tomorrow, which were completely different books. One of them gave me a lot of anxiety, but I also enjoyed it. The second one I enjoyed, but I have a few notes. So find out which is which tomorrow. Here come the promised reviews. I will start with Hot Wax because that is a little easier maybe to describe for me. I don't know why. But we follow Suzanne. We meet her when she's like 10 years old, going 11, I think. And she mostly lives with her mom. Her dad is always out and about trying to become someone, to make it big as a rock musician with his band Gil and the Kills. His name is Gil, obviously. And she kind of gets sucked in at a very early age into this rock stage life. And it is as bad as we imagine it behind the scenes. Like there's a lot of violence, there's drugs, there's all kinds of things going on behind the stage and between the band members. And Suzanne is in the midst of it all because at some point she joins the band on tour. How did that happen anyway? And she sees and experiences things that no child should ever see or experience, which makes this a very emotional read. I definitely want to give some trigger warnings for the aforementioned things like violence and drug abuse. And yeah, I think those are the most important ones. And then we have another timeline where Suzanne is grown up and her dad has passed away. It's a long while after she went on tour with him. And she has to kind of deal with all that he has left behind. She decides to leave her husband at the time and to take her dad's old car on a road trip. Of course, there's a lot of things that happened in the past that she needs to deal with mentally. So there are lots of things happening in her development, in her life, in her thoughts. And it was very, very worth it, in my opinion. Like every minute of this audiobook was worth my time. I did not enjoy it always because there were some scenes and subjects that you just don't enjoy. But it was so well written, and I really felt with Suzanne and what she was experiencing that I'm like really glad that I listened to this, and I will also consider reading the author's other books because I haven't. I think I said that already, but I haven't read anything by her, and I feel like I want to now. So we will see if maybe something will be in my TBR for next year. But so much for that. Second book I finished is Voice of the Ocean. It is actually, I just read it up, a Little Mermaid retelling. So of course there's parallels. I could have read up on that earlier, but here we are. We know now. Better late than never. So this is about Celeste. She is a siren princess, and she is starting to question the siren practices of destroying human chips and all of the humans on board. and she wants to do it in a different way. So she does, and she rescues a prince from her siren mates and follows him onto land. She gets her legs like the original Ariel Little Mermaid does, and she goes on land following her prince and his adventures. So that part of the story I really enjoyed, like her finding out about human life, about human values, about all kinds of things that are connected to that, and finding herself and her opinions in the process. That was lovely and really, really nice to read. I had a really good time. The only thing that bugged me about this book was the ending. The author really lost me with the ending. It all came a bit fast. There was some info dumping, in my opinion, like things that were really substantial to the ending that hadn't been mentioned before, and it all just came rushing in, which wasn't that well done. And then also, there's this one thing that I do not like in new books or just recently published books, and that is when the FMC just forgives and forgets everything that the MMC does. Like, there, at some point during that very chaotic ending, our Celeste says that she would forgive everything that the prince has done to her and to her family and whatnot, if he only apologized and she would go back to him immediately. And the things that he did are, you know, not easily excusable, I think. So just having that notion in a new adult book or young adult book, in any book for that matter, just gets me so angry. Like, why would you write that? Like, he can make up, he can make amends, but he needs to work for it. A simple apology does not do in these cases. And this weird thing of females just being like, oh, he just needs to apologize and I will definitely go back to him, just grinds my gears. I cannot deal with that. So that is something, yeah, that really knocked down the rating a notch. And well, I'm kind of sad that it ended that way. There is an open ending, I want to say, so I guess there could be a second book. We will see. We will see what happens. I kind of wish there was a second book, so Celeste has a little more time to develop herself and to get rid of that prince, which will probably not happen, but anyway. It's fine. We're done with that book. Now, to the things that I'm actually reading. I know I pulled All About Love first, but I kind of feel this a little more, so I'm gonna start The Blue Castle. I read like the first few sentences and I'm already melting. Like, that writing is so perfect. I can't wait. So we're gonna start this instead. For now. For now. And that's that for the update. Good morning, you guys. It is not even 7 a.m. and it is the day off. It's the last day of the readathon, and today we need to hustle. I still have over 100 pages left in the Blue Castle, so I woke up extra early to be able to read a bit before having to start work. And then there has been a slight change of plans. So I started to read All About Love, and as you can see, I already annotated quite a bit, but I only read the preface and then the first chapter. I am on page 18, and I decided to DNF it for now, not because it's bad, but when you read about what love is supposed to mean in theory, you start to, look at all of your relationships, past and present, And you ask yourself if this definition that the author describes in here also applies to your relationships in all kinds of relationships in all shape or form. Um, and that made me quite anxious. So I decided to just let this go for now, and I looked for another audiobook that I can quickly read because I decided on that yesterday. So I quickly needed something else, and I found Highland Happiness on BookBeat. Now this is the right thing for me right now. Is it a very good book? No, but it's like a very light, sweet love story playing out somewhere in the Highlands, and it's okay, it's fine. It serves the purpose. It's not gonna be a new favorite. It's really badly written, in my opinion, but you know, we're gonna deal with this right now. It was 11 hours. I have just under 4 hours left to listen to, so that's also on our to-do list today. But first of all, I'm going to start with this, which gives me everything I could dream of. I have so much fun reading this book. I am in love. I'm so happy that I get to this now and that it hasn't been on my TBR for a while longer. I just received this year in May, I want to say. So I'm glad I freed this so early on from the TBR. And this is about Valency. She's always been kind of, I don't want to say the butt of the joke for her entire family clan, but she is a spinster. She hasn't been married at 29. She's still living with her mom and her cousin. And everybody always reminds her that she's unmarried and that she really isn't that pretty and that she apparently doesn't have what it requires to get married and to be her own woman, basically. And at some point, something happens. I'm not going to disclose what, but Valency tells herself that she's had enough. And she finally decides to push back, which is so rewarding and so good to read. Like, oh, she has such sass and she's so intelligent, and seeing her finding her way makes me so happy, and that is why I can't wait to continue with this book. I'm so excited for this ending because I hope it's going to be a happy ending and a good one. And yeah, big, big recommendation so far. And without further ado, I'm going to start reading because we are definitely on a clock today. I don't have that much time to read tonight, so we will need to get a good chunk of this done in the morning. Okay, you guys, I'm on my walk, but we're taking a break because I do need to talk about this audiobook. More often than not, it makes me go, and I'm going to tell you why. My first problem with this book is the love interest. He takes one look, and I mean one look, at our FMC and decides that she is the love of his life. He then proceeds to imagine her naked, to imagine doing things with her and stuff, like from the get-go. And I hate to inform you, sir, but that's not love. Hate that with a passion. I didn't like him from the start. Then he also tends to gaslight. I will spoil now because this book is in German, so none of you will ever read this, I think. And if you are German, please don't read this. I cannot recommend at all. So they take a walk. We're 60% into the book by that stage. They take a romantic little nighttime walk, and he confesses to her, and he immediately tells her that she is his woman of fate. And I quote, that's a quote. That's what he says. And she's like, woman of fate. And he immediately reacts with, oh, so you're not in love with me. Oh, okay, now I understand. I will go. I will go. And he immediately like shuts her off and shuts her down, even though he didn't give her any opportunity to tell him how she feels. And also, like, he just jumps this on her. Like, you're my woman of fate. I would run. And that's what I want to say to our FMC run. Because run, just run. We don't need him. And then obviously, we have this thing that often happens in these books is that everything runs a bit too smoothly, even if she needs a lot of money for something. Someone is just miraculously willing to lend it to her, and she has someone like on her side within 5 minutes. I don't know, where's the struggle? Like, at least a little, just a little bit of a struggle would have been nice. Yeah, so all in all, I'm not loving it. Not loving it at all. And I'm so excited to be done with this. It doesn't make me anxious, so we're gonna take it over All About Love, but still so glad when I'm done with this. I completely forgot to mention what this is all about. So we start this book with our FMC. I forgot her name. I can't remember her name. She travels from London, I want to say, to like this itty bitty little village in Scotland, and she wants to build her life there for whatever reason. I think her family comes from the area and she just wants to go back, or part of her family comes from the area. So she immediately upon arrival has an idea for a new venture, a new thing that she could do to keep herself afloat. And as I said, everything works out way too smoothly in that regard. And yeah, that's basically the premise. So this is not original at all as well. And I'm sure we can all find better versions of this kind of story. But yeah, I'm going to continue my walk now, and I will continue. It is 5:30 now. I just turned off my computer, which means you got it. Reading time for the rest of the evening. Almost, but mostly. So I'm on page 146, and I plan on reading about 20 more pages before I go to make dinner. And then while I cook, I will also maybe finish, at least continue the audiobook. We're gonna get this going. We're gonna do this. It's gonna be fine. At least I hope so. We're gonna do our very best. Me and I and myself and I and me to finish this. Both of these. I'm still in love with this, by the way. So good. I managed to read about 40 pages this morning. So good. So this is the next thing. And then hopefully there will be some closing sprints later today to keep up the motivation, even though I don't need it for this one. But it's always nice to read together, right? So 20 more pages and then let's cook. I actually did it. I managed to finish my reads in time. There was a second there where I thought I would fail, or, well, at least need an extension scroll, but no, I finished both of my last books in time, just shortly after the sprints finished last night. The last book I finished was Highland Happiness, which we just won't talk about anymore. I do not recommend, didn't like anything about this book. The only good thing about this is that it fulfilled its purpose, and I managed to finish my class through reading that book. Enough about that. The other book, though, was so phenomenal, and I'm so glad I read this. The Blue Castle gave me everything I needed and more. It was so nice. Like, the writing just made me so happy. And the main character also made me so happy. It was about self discovery, about ridding yourself of family expectations. And I just had such a wonderful time with that book. Sadly, I didn't annotate anything, so I might have to reread and do just that sometime in the future. But for now, I'm just gonna think about the story and how happy it made me. And I'm sure this is gonna be a 5-star read. So yeah, I'm so glad I read this for the readathon. And yeah, that with that memory, I think we're like done with autumn equinox. Time really ran with this one. I had such a good time, and I'm so glad I could take you along with me. I hope you enjoyed as well. My character is now an adept, I want to say. She finished her 3rd year in Aurelium Academy. So congrats to her, I guess, even though I did all the work. And there's one more year to go. Crazy. We will see what happens after that. I will take you along anyhow. And I can't wait to hear how your semester went. So please let me know in the comments which read you like the best. And if this was a difficult task for you, because sometimes life just happens and you don't get to finish everything on time. But I hope you did. And yeah, I think that's all there is to say for this year's readathon. So thanks again for coming along with me. I hope you had a good time, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.